Secretary of State John Kerry gave a speech after the recent UN Security Council resolution, which considered any Israeli who lives in the area called Judea and Samaria, which is also known as the West Bank, illegal occupiers. That's right, illegal occupiers. To give some clarity, this means Israelis are illegal occupiers of places like East Jerusalem, the Western Wall, and even the Jewish Quarter. Areas where Jewish people have had a presence for millennia, back into biblical days. Secretary Kerry's speech was essentially a defense for not vetoing the Security Council resolution. Kerry said that by abstaining from the vote, the United States did in fact vote in accordance with our values. Kerry is saying that the resolution against Israel reflects the values of the US government and the citizens of the United States. But I have to tell you, I strongly disagree with Secretary Kerry's statement. I believe our values as a thriving democracy oppose such a resolution, and I can prove it. Think about this. On a bipartisan level, both Democrats and Republicans approved the Jerusalem Embassy Act, a law that was signed into action in 1996. More than 20 years ago, both parties in the House and Senate overwhelmingly voted in favor to make sure the U.S. Embassy was moved from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem in order to signify to the world that America values the eternal and unified city of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. It's only been because of a presidential waiver postponing the relocation that the embassy remains in Tel Aviv. However, the American people spoke through their representatives. The values Americans on both sides of the aisle have set forth is this: Israelis are not occupiers of these sites, but that they have a historical claim to be there and to call it their capital. And what about this? As a democracy, we do share common values with Israel, despite what Secretary Kerry says. We embrace the values of e pluribus unum, out of many, one. Israel resembles the United States both in its democratic institutions and the diversity of its population. Secretary Kerry insists that a two-state solution right now is the only answer to peace between the Israelis and Palestinians. If a Palestinian state were formed today, it's unsure as to whether or not the leadership of the Palestinians would even allow the Jewish people to live within their borders. Many Palestinian leaders have even signaled that there should be no Jewish presence in the West Bank. Are those the values that Secretary Kerry is alluding to? A future Palestinian state that could potentially force the Jewish people to leave their ancient homeland? These values don't match the values Americans hold, and this resolution doesn't help promote and foster peace between the Israelis and Palestinians. Instead, it deepens the divide by forcing the middleman, which is the UN, to dictate the terms instead of the two parties, the Israelis and Palestinians, working it out themselves. So what can we do? Well, we can stand by the values that we hold near and dear to us. To remember that God is sovereignly in control of all things, and to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Chris Katulka.